Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to the new campaign trail. Last time we were here together, we hopped in to Canada, just like we did the time before. But unlike the time before this last time, we hopped in as the Conservative Party, Mr. Pierre Poilievre, and we got ourselves a pretty solid majority. It's quite nice, actually. But that was then and this is now. And there is still one more side that we have to play. I did a 11 like goal last time in order to play this side, and I am proud to say that you guys got 13 votes, upvotes on that. 13 likes, which I'm very grateful. There's also 4 dislikes. I don't know if that's a video quality thing, that's a weird partisan thing, because the video before got 12 likes. I don't know what's up with that. I don't even know if I care to know, I'll be real. It makes me think it might be a partisan thing, which is a little lame, but what are you gonna do? I have one guy saying in the comments, you're right in one sense, he is a political upset. I don't even know if that means, is that supposed to be snarky towards me? Is that supposed to be a dig at the Conservatives? Does he think I'm supporting them? I don't care about Canada. I'm gonna be real, guys. I don't have a vote one way or the other. But Mr. Steve McGregor, 4387, if you're watching this right now, if you can tell me what you mean by that, I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. I love you. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Anyway, we are once again in the year 2025. And as the 2025 election approaches, the situation appears dire for the Liberal Party of Canada. After 9 years of governance, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's popularity has waned. Dissatisfaction with the economic condition of the country and Trudeau's scandals have left the Liberal Party polling at half the support of the rival Conservative Party, barely above the left-wing New Democratic Party. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, appears poised to become the next Prime Minister of Canada. However, the winds are changing. Donald Trump's shock election win, combined with his trade policy, puts him on a collision course with the Canadian government. There are rumblings within the Liberal Party to push Trudeau out and seek a new leader. Will Poilievre and the Conservatives cruise to victory, or will the Liberals succeed in making a comeback for the ages? Well, we're not going to be playing as either of those guys. We're playing the New Democratic Party. And the NDP is the heir to the Democratic Socialist Cooperative Commonwealth Federation and the Federation of Organized Labour, the Canadian Labour Congress. Founded in 1961, the party is known as Canada's conscience, pushing for the interests of the poor and the marginalized. Over the last 2 years, the NDP has supported the minority Liberal government in a supply and confidence agreement before backing out of it. As 2025 approaches, the NDP is polling near second place, benefiting from faltering Labour Party. If the current trajectory continues, it could even become the official opposition party for only the second time in history. Well, we don't have any Jack Laytons. Instead, we have Jagmeet Singh. A criminal defense lawyer, Jagmeet Singh, entered politics in the 2011 election with the federal NDP under Jack Layton. Despite losing his race, he stepped into provincial politics and was elected as a member of the Legislative Assembly in the same year. After federal NDP leader Thomas Mulcair was ousted in 2017, Singh seized the opportunity and won the leadership of the party. He has since led the party for the last 7 years through the 2019 and 2021 elections, where the party has remained stable but failed to break through to become a main contender for the government. As the 2025 election approaches, Jagmeet Singh's personal appeal has been losing its luster. Nevertheless, with the party polling near second place, it appears possible for Singh to lead the party into official opposition. Alright. We're not going to lose our vote, our seat, right? Well, let's take a look at the map as it stands right now. Seat estimate. We have 38 seats at the start of this. It's actually quite nice. And I'm sure nothing is going to pop up to change that at all. No, sir. So it's December 2024. Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland resigned, harshly criticizing Prime Minister Trudeau. Trudeau is facing increasing pressure from within his own party. How will you react? Well, Trudeau must recognize that he has overstayed his welcome. I will threaten a vote of no confidence if he refuses to resign. Canada needs new leadership. Well, Trudeau announces his resignation on January 6th. Hopefully the next Liberal leader will be better. Not hopefully for us. With Trudeau announcing his resignation, how will you talk about the last 3 years where you cooperated with his government? Well, you're able to extract concessions to lower the cost of living for millions of Canadians. The next Parliament, a strong NDP, will force the government to take action and bring down the cost of housing. You doubt your achievements while highlighting your new priorities. Still, many are frustrated that you're only bringing the focus to housing now. Meanwhile, Mark Carney announced his intention to become leader of a Liberal Party. Well, with Trump taking office as President of the United States, he has repeatedly called for Canada to become the 51st state, and it has announced 25% tariffs on all Canadian products. What is your response? Well, I am the only one who will stand up for Canada. Bolivar is unable to contradict Trump. Carney may say tough words, but then he moved Brookfield's headquarters down south. Mark my words, I'm the only one who will stand firm on dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs and other retaliatory measures. He come out swinging, and some of it sticks. Later on in the campaign, Carney drops his support for dollar counter tariffs, just as he said he would. Well, look at that. Oh, I don't want to look at that, actually. Oh, dear God. Oh, that's not good. Well, we're ahead in a couple of these BC provinces right now. Still hanging on to Nunavut. We can turn something around. Well, Mark Carney has won the Liberal leadership and become the 24th Prime Minister of Canada. Well, I call on Carney to hold an election. We need a Prime Minister with a mandate from the people to take decisive action on the crises plaguing our country. Rumors are that Carney will call an election anyway. At least you can claim to welcome it. Prime Minister Mark Carney has moved to quickly reverse the increase in capital gains tax and axe the carbon tax. How do you respond? Well, I won't comment. These policies underwent a lot of debate when they were put into place under Trudeau, and we need to move on. You have supported higher capital gains taxes in the past, and your supporters are disappointed that you would let Carney cut them without a word of criticism. Look, we're fighting for our lives over here, you know? We gotta pick our battles. Anyway, let's do... Carney called a snap election for April 28th in the hopes of capitalizing on his current popularity. With the election campaign kicking off, he must now decide how much resources the NDP should invest into its campaign. Fundraising numbers are not good, and any significant election spending will likely mean taking on a lot of debt. We need to cut our losses. The current environment is tough for our chances anyhow, so I'll keep the campaign's budget under control and avoid taking on any debt. This significantly restricts your ability to get out your message, but at least the party's financial situation will be secure. Just not our electoral situation. How many seats? We have 6 seats right now. We have 6 seats. Jesus Christ. Where's Burnaby Central? There's Burnaby Central. Oh, dear God. Yeah, we're not getting re-elected, but never mind that. In Canada's first past-the-post voting system, local concentrations of support are key to winning parliamentary representation. Well, where will you focus your efforts? The worst possible result for this election would be a Conservative government. I'll put our resources into NDP, CPC battlegrounds to prevent this from happening. Hopefully this works out. Meanwhile, the Liberals give you tough competition in your other ridings. The rumors that Carney will soon call an early election. Now's the time to prepare some election advertisements. How do you intend on advertising during the campaign? We should focus on raising the profiles of our incumbent MPs, who can win by running a series of targeted biographical ads. Your MPs are grateful for your support, but this local focus causes your campaign to languish elsewhere. There's only so much we can really do right now. Probably hang on Victoria Island, I'd imagine. Maybe do well out in BC. Government's got an election for April 28th, and the race is on. What will be your central campaign message? Look, Polivier is an existential threat to Canada as we know it. He is incapable of standing up to Trump, he will privatize our health care, and he will attack the rights of minorities. He must be stopped. This will help you win over some liberals in NDP CPC ridings, but elsewhere you bleed support to Carney, as he is seen as the only one who can stop Polivier. All over the last few years, Canada has seen the largest surge of inflation in decades. How will you address the cost of living crisis? Well, look. Largest part of most people's budget is the cost of housing. I will rail against the obscene increases in housing prices under both the Liberals and Conservatives. It's time to try something different. Housing is an increasingly salient issue, particularly among young people. It's good to hit hard here, though some wonder why you haven't pushed for action earlier. Well, let's just ignore that and try to move on. The price of housing has rapidly increased over the last decade. What will be your message on restoring housing affordability? I'll present a plan for counter-cyclical public housing construction. This would provide stable employment for workers to keep building during downturns and restore housing affordability. A Keynesian approach that would involve much more active government involvement in the construction industry. At the very least, construction workers and young people are intrigued. Well, that's all we can really ask for right now. How are we doing seat-wise? Still 7. Still 7. Well, in the eventuality of a minority government, what would it take for the new government to win the NDP support in Parliament? I'll draw a series of red lines. I will condition our support on protection of our social programs, advancement of labor rights, and action on housing. If the government agrees to these terms, we can talk. Setting these conditions highlights what issues are most important to you. There we go. The last few years have seen record levels of immigration and population growth. How will you talk about immigration? Look, the Liberals' immigration policy is giving big business everything they want without any consideration for the effects on our communities. I will put an end to the exploitative temporary foreign worker program that corporations are using to undercut wages. This is an old-school left-wing answer that irks some of your more cosmopolitan followers. Does that help? Okay, we're at 10 now. I can live with 10 seats. Nearly pulling ahead in some of these BC seats. I don't know where else would be good for us to focus on. Well, I can't really focus much of these. Probably out here in Vancouver. They're actually pulling ahead in Burnaby, looks like. And it looks like BC is going to be our main focus. Couple in Edmonton as well, it seems. Yeah, okay. Healthcare is always an important topic in Canadian elections. What will we emphasize on the issue? The state of healthcare is unacceptable in this country. Too many Canadians need to wait hours in the emergency room to get attention, months on a wait list to get treatment, and years without a family doctor. A strong NDP will ensure our doctors and nurses get the support that they need. Dissatisfaction with the healthcare system is widespread, and this helps talk to those feelings. Well, labor unions are traditional constituency of the NDP. However, union workers' support for the NDP has been in decline. What will he emphasize to win these voters back? Look, Polivier may say he supports unions, but look at his record. He's expressed support for right-to-work legislation in the past, and including in the Conservative Policy Book. He also repeatedly supported back-to-work legislation. He cannot be trusted. The Conservative Party has never been particularly supportive of organized labor. It's good to remind the union workers of that. Well, polls show that the prominence of the environment as a political issue has receded amidst the cost of living crisis. How will you address Canadians on the environment? Well, I'll punish the big polluters, not the average Canadian. I will do this by eliminating wasteful fossil fuel subsidies and placing a cap on oil and gas emissions. Some question whether the cost will be passed on to consumers, but overall people are happy to see the big guys targeted. How are we doing seat-wise? 13! So we need 12 to be considered a legal party. So we're one above that right now. That's wonderful. How's it looking elsewhere? The Liberals have a bit of majority as of now. We're really digging more into conservative territory right now anyway, so I'm not shocked by that. There we go. Indigenous people remain a disadvantaged minority within Canada. How will you address their concerns? I'll prioritize improving the infrastructure in Indigenous communities. This would include investments into clean water and emergency management. Focus on improving material conditions is uncontroversial. Yeah. Bolivian conservatives have been pushing hard for more oil pipelines to be built, and Carney has gotten on board with that agenda. What would we say on the issue? I mean, I'm not opposed in principle as long as they meet environmental standards and respect Indigenous rights. It does seem sensible to see a proposal before passing judgment on it. There we go. We are nothing if not sensible. Oh, these are the same district. Okay. How are we doing seat-wise? 11. The walls are tightening in on us. The NDP has been pushing for electoral reform for a long time. Will he try to make an issue in this campaign? Some people were worried about losing their local representation under a proportional system. I'll spend time to advocate for MMP and make clear that people would still have local representation under such a system. It's always good to make your case, but will people listen? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Would you push for any tax changes to the systems? Let's lower taxes for working people, not for billionaires. I'll raise the personal allowance to $19,500 to be paid with taxes on the rich. Tax cuts are always popular. Are we popular? Somewhat. It's all relative, but I think we're coming in well. I don't recall the NDP really having much of a support base in Ontario. Definitely not in Quebec, from my understanding. Well, it might just be I know it's a largely Western thing, but I forget if they have any seats elsewhere. I don't think they do now, but that's besides the point. The election looks to be shaping up to be a two-horse race between Carney's Liberals and Poilivier's Conservatives. How will you convince people that it's worth voting for your New Democrats? Well, I understand people don't want to feel like they're wasting their vote. I will highlight the places where we already have NDP MPs and we have a chance of winning. Focusing on getting your incumbents reelected might be the best you can do at this point. Yeah. We're not winning our seat, holy shit. Well, reports indicate that the humanitarian situation in Gaza continues to worsen as Israel continues its military operations there and no ceasefire appears to be in sight. How will we handle this issue on the campaign trail? That's the name of the mod. I condemn Hamas for their acts of terror. I'll call for the hostages to be freed as a condition for a ceasefire. Many supporters are disappointed at your lack of commendation for Israel's actions. Got an election to win, guys. Come on. We're winning out here in the district of Winnipeg. A couple of districts in Winnipeg, actually. It's getting very close in Edmonton. This is one green. It looks like the Conservatives are barely ahead there. Okay. The official debate's coming up. This is your chance to reach millions of Canadians and stand up on stage as an equal to Carney and Poilievre. What will be your strategy for the debates? Well, I'll target Carney relentlessly. I'll him on Brooksfield's business practices while he led their board, his ties to various billionaires and Goldman Sachs, and his dismissal of inequality is an issue. He's not in it for you. To get rid of Polivier and Blanchett, you dogpile Carney from all directions, and he has a hard time keeping his cool. Well, there we go. He has an easy time keeping that majority, though, doesn't he? Well, both Carney and Polivier are saying that the public service has grown too large, though they both refrain from saying that there would be any layoffs. What do you say on this issue? Carney's no different than Polivier on this issue. If you look at their platforms, they're both promising to cut the public service by $13 billion over the next 4 years. Only New Democrats can be trusted to defend our public services. Another issue which Carney and Polivier are identical on paper, and you gain from making it clear you're the only alternative. There we go. How are we doing? 13 seats. Doing okay here. I don't think we can win Griesbach. Any seats? Windsor West we could possibly pick up if we visit. Same with this little seat in London. Oh, speak of the seats. So campaign here to its end. Where will you focus your efforts? Well, let's rally our union supporters in Western Ontario. Brian Massey in Windsor West and Lindsay Mathieson in London Fanshawe need all the support they can get. 2 days before election, a deadly attack on the Filipino Street Festival in Vancouver leaves 11 dead and dozens injured. You take some time out of your campaign to honor the dead. Well, here we go. We just need 12 seats to keep our official party status. Any more would be nice. Okay, we got 1 seat. That's a good sign. We got 2 seats now. Excellent, excellent. Where's that second seat? Okay, out here. Vancouver Island. I don't think that was in doubt. We got a 3rd one in Winnipeg. Oh, we got a 4th one in... Is that Quebec? Montreal. There we go. Oh, we got 8. Okay. The West Coast is pulling out well for us. We got a couple seats out here in Vancouver. Another seat in Winnipeg? Yeah, Winnipeg. Okay, we got 13 seats. We got this seat over here in Hamilton. Excellent. We got this seat down here, too. That's huge. This seat is the biggest question mark right now. Come on. Shit, okay. Well, you know what? 14 seats, that's not bad. I can live with 14 seats. We got 2 achievements: still fighting and financially responsible. After tumultuous political crisis and election campaign, it looks like Mark Carney has landed on top. With his Liberal Party only winning a minority of seats, he will still need to maintain the confidence of the opposition parties to avoid having this term cut short. The Owen Party's performance was disappointing, but unsurprising. At the very least, he managed to win at least the minimum 12 seats needed for official party status and the resulting parliamentary privileges. Despite this, he still lost your own seat in Burnaby Central. Moving forward, the NDP will need to rebuild and hope to compete in the next election or on a stronger footing. Having avoided going to debt during the election to maintain official party status, the NDP is on a secure financial ground to stay in the fight for future elections. As for yourself, having lost your own seat and achieved the lowest seat total since you became leader 6 years ago, you will be expected to resign. You can try to find a role in politics elsewhere or return to your legal practice. Well, let's get the overall results. Results by writing. Look at the closest ridings. Ooh, this one was very close, but we don't give a shit about that. Also don't give a shit about that. Who cares? No Liberals. Here's the one that looked really tight. Yeah, a couple hundred more votes. Could have been interesting. Closest NDP wins. Let's check a look. Windsor, we only won by a couple hundred votes. Hamilton, about 600, looks like. North Island, about 1,000, 1,100. Not bad, not bad. Not great, but not bad either. Well, you know, it's not perfect, but sometimes the enemy of a good job is perfection. So you know what? I will take this. This wasn't bad at all, I'd say. Got 6.3% of the vote, only 14 seats. I don't think that works proportionality. Compared to the block, definitely not. But hey, what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to leave this video off here. But thank you as always for watching, my friends. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike, leaving comments, feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Hit the sub button, hit the notification bell, keep updated with these uploads as they come out. And yeah, I'm going to leave things there. But I thank you as always for watching, my friends. My name has been Mr. Dogboat333, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye now.